Hi, my name is Josh Myers, and I work as an anxiety coach out here on the West Coast. I work with people who struggle with generalized anxiety, panic attacks, specific phobias, and other like disorders. I want to talk to you for a little bit about breathing exercises. You'll find tons of videos on YouTube and other sources about breathing exercises, specifically about the how-to. But I know in my own personal recovery with anxiety, I was very resistant to things that I didn't understand. I now use breathing regularly as a technique both for myself and for my clients. But it took a bit of understanding before I could take it seriously. So I want to communicate to you what that information was for me personally, what made me understand why breathing would have anything to do with my anxiety. I remember when someone first mentioned it to me, I was feeling such strong anxiety on the inside that their suggestion seemed too small. It was sort of like a bonfire was going on inside my body, and they were offering me a little glass of water and telling me, no problem, the water will just put out the anxiety. And I thought that they were kind of kidding around, that clearly they hadn't experienced what I had experienced or was experiencing, if they were suggesting something as simple as breathing. But I've done a lot of research on it, and I've come to an understanding as to why it works, and I've come to a belief that it's actually very powerful. And here's the logic. What we struggle with, in a sense, when we have these anxiety disorders is a portion of our brain that we have very limited control over, called our limbic system. It functions to create strong emotional responses like anxiety, in a sense by itself. In a sense, it never grows up. It stops developing in a way at about 2 years of age. It never really develops the ability to think. All that occurs up in the front of our brain, in our frontal cortex. But we have this automatic emotional response, and it's actually important that it be automatic. We wouldn't want to have to think about the thousands of little adjustments it's making to our body every minute. And it's interesting, our limbic system from our sensory input, like our eyes, actually gets to our limbic system a little bit faster than it gets to the rest of our brain. This shows us how important our limbic system is for our survival. You've probably experienced this personally. When you found yourself flying backwards, only to, in mid-flight, after you've jumped backwards, saying, oh, that was just a garden hose, that wasn't a snake. Same thing's true with a number of things. Snakes and spiders seem to be the ones that elicit these automatic responses the fastest. And we now see that in our brain, the connections between our eyes to our limbic systems actually occur faster than the connection between our eyes back to our visual cortex that would then have to send the signal up to our frontal cortex, where we would be able to think to ourselves, oh, that's a snake, I should probably jump back. In the real world, in nature, we would already have been bitten by the snake, and our life would be in jeopardy. So this is why this limbic system is very powerful and occurs very rapidly. So don't blame yourself if sometimes your anxiety happens for no apparent reason and faster than you can even think to begin stopping it. But here's the neat thing. While a lot of stimuli gets to our limbic system very quickly, there is one way we can get our frontal cortex, the thinking part of our brain, to tell our limbic system what to do in a good way. If you think about all the automatic responses that our body does, like our blood vessel size, our heart rate, our breathing, they all occur automatically. But breathing is unique in that at any point in time, you can take complete control over it. If you think about it carefully, it's the only system in our body that occurs 99.9% of the time automatically. But on a moment's notice, we can take pretty much complete control over it. And so, there's a trick built into this. The trick is that if we force our breathing to appear calm, our limbic system has to listen. This takes a bit of practice, but basically we can work the circuit backwards. This has been studied many, many times and proven to be effective. So basically, and I'm not going to go into great detail about the breath, you can find that elsewhere, but in general, we breathe in slowly, I prefer through the nose, and breathe out slowly through the mouth. All we're doing is playing a trick on our limbic system. We're breathing in a way that appears calm. The neat thing is, with just a little bit of practice, our limbic system has to listen. And over time, this can become as powerful a tool as any medication on the planet. Or at least that's been my personal experience with myself and my clients. So I hope this inspires you to either look for other videos that focus on breathing exercises or go to your local library or bookstore. You'll find a tremendous amount of literature on meditation and breathing exercises. And don't be thrown off by the meditation title. You'll find very quickly whether these authors are ones that you can get along with. Flip through a few books, and eventually you'll find somebody that kind of speaks your particular language. And a good book should include multiple strategies for breathing exercises. And the ones that I like tend to include audio CDs that give me guided tours of specific breathing techniques. I personally had a wonderful CD that I listened to, and it had about 10 different strategies on it. I found one or two that I really liked, and I've stuck with those for years. So anyways, I hope this inspires you to go take breathing a little bit more seriously. I know that for myself it's worked, and I know that for my clients it works. So go ahead, give it a try. If you found any of this information helpful, you can find more information at my website, anxietymentor.com. On there you'll find newsletters I've written, you'll find a huge audio library, and you're more than welcome to contact me through that website. You can actually go straight to it right now and dial the phone number, and literally it would ring in my pocket on my cell phone right now. So anyways, I hope that helps, and I hope you go out and get help. There's no reason to struggle with anxiety. It's a completely fixable disorder. Thanks.